Very good afternoon, children. Myself, L.K. Tripathi from LPM Public School, Gola Bazar, Gorakhpur. My dear children, as we have been studying about history chapter first, that is the French Revolution. In yesterday's discussion, we discussed about the societal division of France, different types of taxes, about the condition of people. The society was divided into three states, first, second and third. Which types of people belong from which state. All these things were there in the first video. This is the second video for you related to the same chapter, that is a growing middle class in vices and end to privileges. In between, the middle class grows in the society and they pay their effort to end the privileges by the aristocrat class or noble or priest classes. So let's discuss seriously about this. In the past, peasants and workers had participated in revolts against increasing taxes and food scarcity. In the last video, we saw that the people in France belonging from peasants and worker classes, they participated in the revolt against the high taxes and food shortage in the country. But they lacked the means and programs to carry out full-scale measures that would bring about a change in the social and economic order. This was left to those groups within the third state who had become prosperous and had access to education and new ideas. This was the main problem, that was the increasing taxes and food scarcity. लेकिन ये जो लोग थे, फ्रांस के लोग थे, ये जो प्रोग्राम्स को कैरी आउट किया जा सकता था, जो फुल स्केल मेजर्स थे, उसमें जो है ये सोशल और इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर में बहुत बड़ा चेंज लेकर के आए। ये जो थर्ड स्टेट ग्रुप था, जो बहुत प्रॉस्परस हो चुका था और उनके पास एजुकेशन भी थी और न्यू आइडिया भी थी, इसी में से मिडिल क्लास का इमरजेंस होता है जो थर्ड स्टेट से बिलोंग करते हैं, और वो अपना प्रयास जो है, जो नोबेलिटी प्रिस्ट क्लास के जो प्रिविलेजेस हैं उसको ख़त्म करने के लिए ये तमाम आइडियाज़ को अडॉप्ट करते हैं। The 18th century witnessed the emergence of social group termed the middle class, who earned their wealth through and expanding overseas trade and from the manufacture of goods such as woolen and silk textile that were either exported or bought by the richer members of society. 18th century is extreme witness that the emergence of social groups, ये यही जो है मिडिल क्लास में टर्म होता है, जा कर के बदलता है, जो अपने जो वहाँ का धन है वो उसको अर्न करते हैं और ओवरसीज समुद्र के रास्ते दूसरे देशों में अपने सामान को, अपने मैन्युफैक्चर को लेकर के जाते हैं। जैसे वुलन है, सिल्क है, टेक्सटाइल्स है, ये या तो एक्सपोर्ट किए जाते थे या खरीदे जाते, लाए जाते थे जो सोसाइटी के रिचर मेंबर थे, धनी लोग थे, उनसे। इन एडिशन टू मर्चेंट and manufacturers, the third state included a professions such as lawyers and administrative officials. Lawyers and administrative officers, as in the previous video we discussed, they belong from the third state. They have to pay high taxes to the nobility and clergy. All of these were educated and believed that no group in society should be privileged by birth. यही क्लास पढ़ा लिखा था जो थर्ड स्टेप था, और उनका कहना था कि समाज में किसी भी ऐसे ग्रुप को प्रिविलेज बाय बर्थ नहीं मिलता है, उसको सारी शक्तियाँ या विशेषाधिकार जन्म से नहीं मिलता। रादर ए पर्सन्स सोशल पोजीशन मस्ट डिपेंड ऑन हिज मेरिट। इसके अलावा जो व्यक्ति का जो सोशल पोजीशन है, जो सामाजिक पोजीशन है, ये निश्चित रूप से उसके मेरिट पर डिपेंड करता है। These ideas envisaging a society based on freedom and equal laws and opportunities for all were put forward by philosophers such as John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau। और इस तरह के आइडियाज़ समाज में एक स्वतंत्रता और इक्वल लॉ के सिद्धांत पर आधारित है, और इसमें सबको बराबर का अधिकार होना चाहिए, इसमें सबके राइट और सबके जो है सोशल स्टेटस एक जैसा होना चाहिए। ये ऐसी आइडिया को ऐसे फिलासफर लेके आए जिसमें से जॉन लॉक और रूसो, ये दो लोग प्रमुख रूप से थे। इन हिज टू treatises of government, Locke sought to refute the doctrine of the divine and absolute right of the monarch। इसमें रूसो क्या करता है, जो एक उसकी बुक है टू treatises of government, लॉक सीधे सीधे रिफ्यूट करता है, मतलब उसको डिनाई करता है कि जो दैवी सिद्धांत है, अधिकार का दैवी सिद्धांत, डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ द डिवाइन एंड एब्सोल्यूट राइट ऑफ द मोनार्क, इसको सीधे सीधे वो कहता है कि राजा के पास कोई दैवी शक्ति या सिद्धांत नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है। रूसो कैरीड द आइडिया फॉरवर्ड प्रपोजिंग ए फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट बेस्ड ऑन ए सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बिटवीन पीपल एंड देयर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स। रूसो कैरी करता है, ऐसी आइडिया को जन्म देता है, क्या बताता है, जो एक गवर्नमेंट को प्रपोज करती है जो सोशल सामाजिक सिद्धांत पर आधारित है, जो लोगों के बीच और उनके प्रतिनिधियों के बीच में निहित है। इन द स्पिरिट ऑफ लॉज, मॉन्टेस्क्यू proposed a division of power within the government between the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. This model of government was put into force in the USA after the 13 colonies declared their independence from Britain. The American Constitution and its guarantee of individual rights was an important example for political thinkers in France। जो अमेरिकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना हुआ है, ये व्यक्ति के अधिकारों की गारंटी देता है, और ये बहुत ही एक जो इम्पॉर्टेंट एग्जाम्पल है पॉलिटिकल थिंकर्स के लिए जो फ्रांस में है। लोग फ्रांस के जो है राजनीतिक विचारकों के लिए अमेरिका की आइडियोलॉजी और आइडिया बहुत ही सुटेबल है। द आइडियाज ऑफ दीज फिलासफर्स were discussed intensively in salons and coffee houses and spread among people through books and newspapers। These were frequently read aloud in groups for the benefit of those who could not read and write. The news that Louis XVI planned to impose further taxes to be able to meet the expenses of the state generated anger and protest against the system of privileges. Now next, the outbreak of the revolution. रिवोल्यूशन का आउटब्रेक कैसे होता है, कैसे इसका प्रादुर्भाव होता है? Louis XVI had to increase taxes for reasons you have learned in the previous section. How do you think he could have gone about doing this? Louis XVI wanted to impose more taxes ahead also, as you have learned in the previous section. आप इसके बारे में क्या सोचते हैं कि ये कैसे करना चाहता था, क्यों किया? In France of the royal regime, the monarch did not have the power to impose taxes according to his will alone. पहले के जो भी ओल्ड रिजीम के पहले के जो शासक हुए लुइस 16 से पहले, वो जो है उनके पास सीधे सीधे पावर नहीं था अकेले कि वो टैक्स इम्पोज कर सकें. रादर ही हैड टू कॉल ए मीटिंग ऑफ द स्टेट्स जनरल which would then pass his proposals for new taxes. उनके पास एक मीटिंग स्टेट जनरल की बुलानी पड़ती थी और उसमें नए टैक्स के लिए प्रपोजल देना पड़ता था, लाना पड़ता था, तब जाकर वो टैक्स बढ़ाता था. राजा के पास कोई प्रिविलेज नहीं था कि अकेले टैक्स बढ़ाए. द स्टेट जनरल वाज ए पॉलिटिकल बॉडी टू which the three states sent their representatives. However, the monarch alone could decide when to call a meeting of this body. The last time it was done was in 1640. स्टेट जनरल जो होता था, एक पॉलिटिकल बॉडी हुआ करती थी, उसके 3 स्टेट्स होते थे, अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को भेजते थे उसमें. जबकि मोनार्क अकेले जो है किसी भी मीटिंग में अकेले ऐसी शक्ति था जो निर्णय ले सकता था, और ऐसा पहली बार 1614 में किया गया था राजा के द्वारा. On 5 May 1789, Louis XVI called together an assembly of the States General to pass proposals for new taxes. A resplendent hall in Versailles was prepared to house the delegates. The first and second states sent 300 representatives each, who were seated in rows facing each other on 2 sides, while the 600 members of the third state had to stand at the right. The third state was represented by its more prosperous and educated members. Peasants, artisans, and women were denied entry to the assembly. However, their grievances and demands were listed in some 40,000 letters which the representatives had brought with them. Voting in the State General in the past had been conducted according to the principle that each state had one vote. This time too, Louis XVI was determined to continue the same practice. But members of the third state demanded that voting now be conducted by the assembly as a whole, where each member would have one vote. This was one of the democratic principles put forward by philosophers like Rousseau in his book The Social Contract. When the king rejected this proposal, members of the third state walked out of the assembly in protest. The representatives of the third state viewed themselves as spokesmen for the whole French nation. On 20 June, they assembled in the hall of an indoor tennis court in the grounds of Versailles. They declared themselves a national assembly and swore not to disperse till they had drafted a constitution for France that would limit the powers of the monarch. They were led by Mirabeau and Abbe. Mirabeau was born in a noble family, but was convinced of the need to do away with the society of feudal privileges. He brought out a general and delivered powerful speeches to the crowd assembled at Versailles. While the National Assembly was busy at Versailles drafting a constitution, the rest of France seethed with turmoil. A severe winter had meant a bad harvest. The price of bread rose. Often, bakers exploited the situation and hoarded supplies. After spending hours in long queues at the bakery, crowds of angry women stormed into the shops. At the same time, the king ordered troops to move into Paris. On 14 July, the agitated crowd stormed and destroyed the Versailles. Destroyed the Bastille. Up to here we have studied about the chapter. Rest we shall study and see in the next video.